Hi, today you're going to learn how to create a 12-week meal plan in 3 pretty straightforward steps. I am Tammy Schmidt and welcome back. This is the channel for stay-at-home moms with school-age kids. Every Wednesday I upload a new video to help you manage all the things. So let's dive right in to the 3 steps. Straightforward, you guys. Brainstorm, define the rules, and then put it all together. So what does that mean? Brainstorming. When you are sitting down to lay out a 12-week meal plan, you start with brainstorming all of the different meals that you currently make. And I will urge you to not worry about getting healthier right now. Do not worry about making significant changes over what you're currently doing. The very first thing you want to do is form a new habit of putting this meal plan together and then following it. Imagine going into a new way of eating with a habit already formed of being able to create the meal plan and follow it. Your new way of eating will be so much easier. So step number 1, take all of the foods that you already make, all of the meats and all of the vegetables and all the side dishes, exactly the way you eat right now, and make a list. Doesn't matter what tool you use. I use Trello to create my own brainstorm list, but you can use paper and pen. You can use a spreadsheet. You can use a Word document. The tool really is completely irrelevant. It's the content that you're putting together that matters. Next important thing with brainstorming is to involve your family. I have a picky eater. I have like 1.5 picky eaters. Does that make sense? My son is kind of a picky eater. My youngest is a super picky eater. So I've involved all 3 of the kids in this formation of a list. I've also chatted with my husband a little bit, so I'm sure to get the meals on the list that he likes to eat as well. So that's number 1, brainstorm that existing list. This becomes an easy task because you're not trying to create something brand new. So step number 2, define the rules. Do you have any specific rules, like you're already trying to stay away from sugar, your spouse is already on a low-carb meal plan or low-carb diet? Are there any special things that you need to stay away from? We have an allergy in the family, so I need to make sure that nothing I'm making has peanuts in it, because that would be a disaster. So rules also meaning, do you have a certain day of the week where you have an activity? Like every Wednesday is youth group, so one of your kids or all of your kids are going to be at youth group or catechism or CCD, whatever the case may be. If there's a consistent thing that they're off doing, I would term that as a rule. So I don't have my rules necessarily documented, but some of the things like in the calendar, that kind of thing, I do have those items scheduled in the calendar. But as far as my husband, he eats low carb and I'm trying to stay away from processed sugars. Those are mental rules that I'm noting to myself as I go through this process. So step number 1 was brainstorm that list. Step number 2, define your rules. And step number 3, put it all together. Sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? And it really is, you guys. I think we make meal planning much harder than it needs to be, but you're going to want to put it all together in a tool that works for you. I personally use my Google Calendar. I've created a separate calendar specifically for meal plans, so I can share that with the kids so they know what we're going to have for dinner that night. If they have to make breakfast themselves and things like that, they'll see that right within the calendar. So you guys, I use my calendar because it's super easy to repeat a meal. So right now I am trying to promote the kids eating more vegetables. So I have every Friday we're having a chef salad. They all love chef salad. They get to put all their stuff on themselves and whatever dressing they want. But I have that repeating in my calendar. So it was super simple to just make that a repeating event within my Google Calendar. Sometimes putting it all together, for some people, they like to have a theme, like every Wednesday or every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday, or they have chicken every Sunday. Or for me, because we are busy on a certain day of the week, I make sure I have a crock pot meal so that I don't have to think really hard about putting it all together and actually doing the cooking. It's just in the crock pot, it's done, it's ready to go. So, you guys, 3 pretty straightforward steps. Brainstorm your list. Make sure you're involving the family in that process. Step number 2, kind of defining your rules. Maybe they're unwritten rules, but they're still rules that you need to be aware of as you're making your meal plan. And step number 3, put it all together in a tool that works for you.